So hi guys, my name is Reid Bramble and welcome to my YouTube channel Bramble Reid. This week we are looking at how to make our own chalk paint and what are the best ingredients to use. Now before we start, subscribe to my channel by hitting the red subscribe button and don't forget to ding that notification bell. It will let you know the next time that I upload. And thumbs up it and leave a comment down below. I look forward to hearing what you have to say. Did the title stump you? How to make chalk paint with acrylic paint and baking soda? About 2 weeks ago, I created the video on how to make this textured clay vase out of acrylic paint and baking soda. Someone was asking whether or not it's the same as the chalk paint, the grit on top of it like a clay, whereas the chalk paint is really smooth and it's like the chalk. It is soft. I'm going to refer back to the old video that shows you how to use the acrylic paint. At the beginning of the show, I'm going to show you guys how to make chalk paint, especially if you do not have plaster of Paris and calcium carbonate in your home. You can use baby powder and you can recreate chalk paint opposed to your baking soda. Now here's what we're going to use today to make a professional looking chalk paint. You can pick up talcum powder from your local dollar store, plaster of Paris from your local hardware store, or calcium carbonate, which is off of Amazon. You're going to need 1 tablespoon of water and 1 cup. Now these small little containers of paint does measure out to 1 cup. To achieve a high quality chalk paint, you're going to use 2 tablespoons of calcium carbonate to 1 tablespoon of water. And I like measuring my stuff so that I know exactly what I'm doing. If anything goes wrong, then I can make adjustments. Now, if you want your chalk paint thicker, you can add 3 tablespoons, but 2 is good. So once you've finished blending your water with the calcium carbonate, you're going to measure out your 1 cup, which is 8 ounces of latex paint. You want to add the latex paint and your mixture together. Just continuously stir until you've absorbed all of the calcium carbonate and you can't see any of the white powder at the bottom of your cup. This is the result of the chalk paint. With the blue one, there's something off about it, but I feel that it's acrylic paint because I noticed that the shine is shiny, but the chalk paint, it still has that kind of chalk paint texture, but it's still a little sticky. It doesn't have that, there's something off with it, okay? But now this side, the charcoal, I believe this is Limousine Black from Behr. It is beautiful. So this is what the paint looks like regularly. You can see that there's a shine to it. This is with 2 tablespoons of calcium carbonate. And this, I put extra. This is about 3. And guys, if you could feel what this feels like, it feels really smooth. It feels smoother than this. So what I would recommend is when you're making your chalk paint, before you put it on, sample it of course and feel it, because if you need to add a little bit more of the calcium, then I would actually do so to get that type of a smooth finish. Like, it is really nice and smooth. And what happened was when I made my mix, I actually poured my mix right into the paint can, the residue of the calcium, and so then I took my paintbrush and mixed it around, and then that's how I got that. This one here is still nice, the white, very chocolate, so I know that there's something wrong with this one. Now on this side, I decided to try doing exterior paint because I do have a project that I wanted to do outside next year. I wanted to make my own patio set to see how outdoor paint would become chalk paint. I plan on leaving this outside until next year to see what happens to it. So now what I would recommend is create yourself a Fandex. Put the wax on it so that it doesn't stick. Drill a hole at the bottom and then you can open it and close it. Now for the other video, I did use acrylic paint and baking powder. I was actually going for a clay effect. I didn't want chalk paint. Now when you're using acrylic paint, it's going to be the same measurement. 1 cup, which is 8 ounces of paint, with 1 tablespoon of baking powder. The effect is going to be that the baking powder is going to soak up water from the paint. It's going to look like chalk, that it's going to be a little bit more textured than a chalk paint, because remember, chalk paint is actually something that you would use on a chalkboard, which is smooth. And you can use whatever type of vase you want. You want a glass vase, it's really perfect for that. And there's the outcome, a clay effect. Now I also did try baking soda, which is just like adding sand to your paint. So I wanted you to get an idea of the feel of acrylic paint and baking soda. It's more of a textured look, and that is why I used it for my clay vases, opposed to when you add latex paint, baby powder, or calcium carbonate. That gives you more of a chalk effect and chalk feeling. Now what I also did was took the acrylic paint and I mixed it with the calcium, and you can see that there's still a little bit of texture to it. So what I did then was I used the outdoor paints and I did 3 different effects. I went and I took one with the baby powder, one with the plaster of Paris, and the next one, which is the closest one you see, had all 3, and I found that they all felt like chalk, but the first one was the one that felt and looked most like chalk paint. Now the best one was the matte latex paint from Behr, and so if you're going to try doing this, I would recommend you use the latex paint. Matte finish will work whether it's semi-gloss or not. We've come to the end of another video, and I'd like to thank you so much for being here. What did you think about the chalk paint versus the clay paint? Now, if you are new to my channel, subscribe to the channel by hitting the red subscribe button, and also don't forget to hit that notification bell. It will let you know the next time that I'm uploading.